بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رجل للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يوم أحد. Hazrat Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that one person, he told Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam on the day of Uhud, أَرَأَيْتَ إِن قُتِلْتُ فَأَيْنَ أَنَا. That tell me, O Rasul of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that if I am killed, then what is my position, where will I be? قال في الجنة. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, in Jannah, you will go to Jannah. فَأَلْقَ تَمَرَاتٍ كُنَّ فِي يَدِهِ ثُمَّ قَاتَلَ حَتَّى قُتِلَ. He threw some dates that were in his hand, meaning he didn't even spare that amount of time that he would eat these dates. Immediately he threw these dates away, and then he fought in the path of Allah until he was made shaheed, he was martyred. In the narration of Hakim it comes that this particular Sahabi, he came to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he told Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, I am dark in complexion, and the smell that emits from my mouth, the odor, that is also not so pleasant, and I don't have any wealth, meaning in terms of dunya, he didn't hold any position whatsoever in dunya. So he told this to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, and then he asked Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam the question that, Ya Rasulullah, that if I go onto the battlefield and I'm martyred on the battlefield, what is my position? Is there anything for me in akhirat? So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, you'll go straight to Jannah. He threw those dates and he went onto the battlefield and he was martyred. When he was martyred, Nabi alayhi salam after the battle would normally go onto the battlefield and see which Sahaba have been martyred. So when he came to this particular Sahabi, at that time Nabi alayhi salam looked at him and he said, may Allah Ta'ala illuminate your face. That odor that was in your mouth, may Allah Ta'ala turn it into fragrance. And now may Allah Ta'ala grant you wealth, referring to the wealth of Jannah. So a person, dunya, whether he makes it, doesn't make it, doesn't really matter. Dunya we will go through 50 years, 60 years, 80 years, whatever. But the real matter is the matter of the akhirat. If that is taken care of, that's the greatest thing. And Abi Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu قال جاء رجل إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala states that a person, he came to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. فقال يا رسول الله, he said, O Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, أي الصدقة أعظم أجرا. That which sadaqah has the greatest amount of reward. قال أن تصدق وأنت صحيح شحيح تخشى الفقر وتأمل الغنى. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that you give sadaqah وأنت صحيح, at that time when you are healthy, when you have the ability of utilizing your wealth. وأنت صحيح شحيح, and you are miserly. One is a bakhil. Bakhil means a miserly person. But in this hadith, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam used the word shahi, that by nature a person is miserly. He doesn't want to spend his money. He wants to hoard every cent that he got. So at the time when you're healthy also, you want to hoard every cent. You don't want to let go of anything. At that time you give sadaqah. Takhsha al-faqra, you fear poverty, that if I spend in the path of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, my wealth will start to decrease. Wa ta'mulul ghina, and you have hope of wealth, that you want to increase further and further. This is the indication that a person got sincerity, because he wants to keep that money, he wants to hoard that money, but in spite of that he goes against the grain and he spends in the path of Allah. That's the indication he got sincerity. وَلَا تُمْهِلْ حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَتِ الْحُلْقُومِ, and do not delay this matter until the soul reaches the throat. Meaning that now you're holding back your money, but now when the soul reaches the throat at the time of maut, now you are leaving the world. At that time, now what do you say? قُلْتَ لِفُلَانٍ كَذَا وَلِفُلَانٍ كَذَا. You say that for so and so give so much, and for so and so so much. Meaning now a man is making wasiyat, that must give to this institute so much, give that institute so much. Why? He's fearing akhirat is now before him. وَقَدْ كَانَ لِفُلَانٍ, the hadith says, whereas the wealth belongs to somebody else. Meaning 2/3 of the wealth will now go to the heirs. Your wasiyat that you make is only up to 1/3 of the estate. So the wealth, it belongs to somebody else, but you want to give it to another institute. So that time it is too late. Before that a person must give sadaqah. In one hadith it comes, لَأَن يَتَصَدَّقَ الْمَرْءُ فِي حَيَاتِهِ بِدِرْهَمٍ خَيْرٌ لَهُ مِنْ أَن يَتَصَدَّقَ بِمِئَةٍ عِنْدَ الْمَوْتِ. That a person, he gives sadaqah in his lifetime. 1 dirham, 1 rand you spend whilst you are living. This is better than spending 100 rands at the time of maut. Because at this time, when a person gives, he wants that money, he desires it, but he goes against the grain and he spends. Allah give us all the tawfiq to spend. And Anas radiyallahu anhu, anna Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam akhadha sayfan yawma Uhud. Hazrat Anas radiyallahu ta'ala narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took a sword on the day of Uhud. فقال, he said, مَنْ يَأْخُذُ مِنِّي هَذَا. He asked the Sahaba, who's going to take the sword from me? فَبَسَطُوا أَيْدِيَهُمْ كُلُّ إِنسَانٍ مِّنْهُمْ. Every human being from amongst them, every Sahabi, they spread out their hand that we want the sword. يَقُول أَنَا I will take the sword, I will take the sword. قال فَمَن يَأْخُذُهُ بِحَقِّهِ. Then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked the second question, that all of you are ready to take the sword, but who will take it with its right? And what is the right of the sword? That now you go onto the battlefield, you fight with the sword, you give your life in the path of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So who will take it with his right? فَأَحْجَمَ الْقَوْمِ. The people, they hesitated now a little bit, that now we have to give our life, we have to go onto the battlefield. فقال أبو دجانة رضي الله عنه أنا آخذه بحقه. Hazrat Abu Dujana رضي الله عنه said, I will take it with its right. I am prepared to go onto the battlefield. فأخذه ففلق به حام المشركين. He took it and he separated by means of this the heads of the mushrikeen. So he went onto the battlefield, he fought, he gave his life. So this chapter is referring to that, this chapter is in regards to a person, that when the desire to do good comes into a person he shouldn't hesitate, but a person should immediately proceed and carry out that good action. Like this Sahabi also, Nabi alayhi salam said that fulfill the right. He went onto the battlefield and he gave his life. Allah give us tawfiq and continue.